Hey everyone, and welcome to week 46 of the OLED burn-in test. So this is a weekly burn-in test I run on my LG C9 OLED. You can see the model number just there, 65C9 PLA. UTT just down here is 1743, so that's the total number of hours used on this particular panel. OFF-RS is 315, so that's the mini pixel refresher count. And the last mini pixel refresher was actually run on 1740 hours, and one major pixel refresher which was run on after 151 hours. So with that, I will exit out and restart the test. Okay, so as this is cycling through, as usual, I'll give you details in terms of usage for the panel for the past week, as well as some other information. So firstly, for those who are watching for the first time, welcome to the channel. Thanks very much for watching, and basically the details regarding why I do this is basically just to give yourselves, as well as myself and anybody else watching, an idea in terms of how a LG or any OLED panel, but in particular the C9 OLED, actually reacts in terms of normal world usage. So there's a lot of hysteria and hype and misinformation in terms of OLED TVs and basically how they perform with regards to gaming, with regards to sports. And basically this is something that I've been running since week 7 of ownership. This is now week 46, I believe. And basically I just run this weekly test just to show everybody how the panel is actually performing, how it's reacting, and this way everybody can see for themselves. They don't need to go on the word of somebody else. This is basically with your own eyes that you can see. Obviously I do my best in terms of my camera setup. I record in HDR. I try my best to try and balance out the background to make sure that everything's not getting blown out as much as possible, but obviously there will always be slight differences in terms of what you're seeing compared to through the camera and through your TV monitor, whatever you're watching this back on, and in terms of what I'm seeing in real life. But generally it's about as close as I can get it. So usage for the past week has been pretty much all gaming. Obviously over Christmas holidays, kids have been off. My son's been playing a lot of games. He's just got FIFA 21, as well as he's been playing Call of Duty, I believe it's Warzone. I actually did a 3-hour live stream of basically him playing, and that was more so just for those out there who say that you can't game consecutive hours on a OLED TV without it causing issues. So this, as you can see, 46 hours, we've just passed the 1700 hour mark, coming up towards 2000, and as soon as you hit 2000 hours on an OLED panel, especially an LG one, it'll actually run a major pixel refresher automatically. For those who are interested in terms of what the mini and major pixel refreshers actually do, I filmed a in-depth video recently that I actually posted, and what I'll do is I'll link that in down below. And basically what that does is it gives you details in terms of how to look after the panel, anything that you have to do, whether you have to do anything at all, and it also just goes into explaining what each one actually does with regards to the mini and the major pixel refresher. Now I've actually noticed a big spike in one of my videos, which is the how to prevent OLED burn-in, and that came around about the same time as the next gen consoles were actually released. And it kind of makes sense because as soon as the Xbox Series 1X and the PS5 were actually released to the public, obviously a lot of people are looking into what is the best gaming TV that I can actually purchase, and usually it comes down to the choice between OLED and QLED. Obviously with next year, well, with this year, seeing as we are in the new year now, with 2021, I think we will be seeing a lot more mini LED TVs coming to the market, but just for my personal opinion, I don't think they're going to be market ready in terms of competing with either OLED or QLED just yet. QLED possibly, but at the moment, from what I've read and seen, I'm thinking that the mini LED technology is going to be pretty much reserved as a sort of mid-tier. I don't think anybody's going to be going full in on mini LED in the way that would actually make it compete with either QLED or OLED. But yeah, after those consoles released, obviously I saw a big spike in the numbers, and pretty much everybody was clicking onto that particular video. So I think I'm going to carry on with this series for as long as I can. Once we get past the 1 year mark, 1.5 year mark, I may reduce the frequency, so I may just reduce it down to maybe once a month. But I think especially early on, it helps people to actually see that this panel is being used weekly, and not every week either. So that's the other thing where people assume that, oh, if you have a massive amount of usage in one go and then you don't use it, that's also going to give you problems. That has been the case with this particular set, because obviously with COVID and lockdown and everything else that came with that, we saw a big spike in terms of gaming hours, but then everything else just kind of dropped off because basically content dried up. And as a result, basically it got a massive amount of gaming usage. Then it went through a spike of sports usage when sports actually restarted, and recently basically it's been a mixture of gaming and movies, because over the holidays we've watched a lot of movies. We had a lot of movies saved up, so that's basically what we've been doing every night. During the day my son can use it as much as he likes. In the evenings basically we always, for the past 2 weeks now, we've been watching a movie every night, apart from the odd nights when it's been way too late and we've just been too tired. But yeah, one movie every night, and that's just helped balance out any gaming that's happened during the day. But as you can see, the panel is still pretty much perfect. In terms of uniformity, this panel, I've been very lucky in the sense that it's very, very clean. Very, very little dirty screen or vertical banding, any of that. So I'm lucky in that sense, but obviously just with minor tweaks in terms of initial setup as well as usage in the early days, and this is the result where I've pretty much got a perfect panel that I can use weekly and basically just enjoy it. I don't baby the TV or anything like that, and that should be the end of the test.
We're trying to do something that's